All right, you need to be sure that everything is working fine, which is why you don't have to wait until you finish building the entire project. You build small, you deploy. You build small, you deploy. You build small, you deploy. So that whenever your server crashes or stops responding, you will know where the error is coming from. So I'm going to run my project again, npm run dev. And if I run it, I just want to try and log in. If I log in, it's okay and it's ready to deploy. So, but while we're waiting for that, any questions you have, please ask your questions, and so that we continue. All right, so this is my login, and I should check the body. I have some things in the body. So if I send, good. So I'm able to register, login rather. So if I'm able to log in, and what I would do is let me try getting all the users. Now I know that will work, but just to be sure that everything is working, I'll change the authorization, remove that, and paste this new token and send. And delay. Why? So it looks like our, what is it called? The middleware is delaying the project. So it looks like we didn't actually call next in that middleware. So I will need to find the middleware that does that, which will be authorization, this one, and open it up, check. Actually, I called next, so why is it not moving to the next? I'll come back to here. I have, okay, no, that's not it. Get all users is this. So in get all users, which is this. Okay, we're now returning a response. That's why. We're now returning a response. So that's why it was hanging. I'm going to save this and try to return a response. While we're waiting for the server, I've sent it. And now we're getting a response. So that's fine. The question is, the registration is not being verified yet via email. Is that not going to be a problem? You already know, happy Sunday, you already know how it should be done. Like, you know how to send email. So on registration here, you create a function that will send them an email. Now you can call that token an active token because it is not an access token yet. So you can call it an active token and you send it to them. So when they are sending you back the token, you can decide to accept the token in the body or accept it in the header, is your choice. Your job is to verify the token, see who owns the token, and activate the person's account. Like, there's no, I don't see any, you already know how to accept the token. You know how to verify the token. You know how to get the details in the token and use it to find who owns that token. So once you find who owns the token, the rest is left for you. It's your choice. So, but that one is not a big challenge. It's small. So once this is done, everything is complete. I need to push this code to GitHub. Now, there are different ways of deploying. The easiest way, the best way is to use GitHub. So I will always push it to GitHub. Now, I want to believe that a few of you should be able to understand Git and GitHub, but if you don't, it's fine. After we're done deploying, we're going to visit Git and GitHub as the last thing. So I'm going to push this to GitHub because I want to deploy with GitHub. After git add dot, then git commit. After git commit, the next will be git push main, enter. So I have pushed my codes. They are now on GitHub. I'll need to open my browser. First, I need to go to GitHub. That's one. Secondly, I want to use render for deploying. So I'll go to render dashboard. Now you can use what is it called, Cyclic. You can also use Heroku, but Heroku is not free. But the three of them are the same way, the same format, easy to set up, the same flow for the three of them. So if you use render, that means you can use Heroku, but Heroku is not free. If you use Heroku, you can also use Cyclic, but Cyclic is not free. The different one there is the DigitalOcean and AWS. They are not the same. So on my GitHub, wait, why is GitHub not open? This is GitHub opener. So I'll go to render dashboard, close this one. Yeah, so on GitHub, I want to show you something about the repo. The repo is not supposed to be in a folder. It is not. All those files, they are not supposed to be in a folder. Otherwise, it will not work. CareerEx auth. So the files are supposed to be outside of any folder. Now, if you look at it, this is how it should be. They are not supposed to be inside any folder. When you come here, you are seeing the files automatically. No folder. If you put a folder here and you deploy it, it will not work. Now, I don't mean these folders are not going to be here. They will be here, but everything here should not be inside the folder. So you drag the individual files and put on GitHub, not inside the folder, not the folder. So once you have this, it's fine. The next thing is to move on to render. Now, with render, you can choose so many ways to log into render. I always use my GitHub. So I log into render with my GitHub. It's very easy. Once you have a GitHub account, you can easily log in, authenticate it, and it will be using your GitHub as a login. Another reason why I use GitHub is so that it will have access to all the codes I have on GitHub in case I want to deploy anyone. So it will have access to all the codes. So, but the truth is, the render allows you to deploy both front end and back end. So not just one. You can also deploy your front end, but we're not doing front end. I don't understand what you said about the files not working on GitHub. I mean, when you are dragging your files, I want to believe you know how to drag and drop on GitHub. When you are pushing your code to GitHub, don't push the entire folder. Copy the files, all the files, not the folder. Not the folder that the files are inside. I don't know if that makes sense. The files themselves, not the files themselves is what you want to copy, not the folder. Is it that we should remove all the files from the folders before pushing them? No, this is what I mean. If I open CareerEx, this is the name of the folder that contains my files. This folder, CareerEx, contains my files. So you will not drag this folder and drop on GitHub. No, rather you open the folder and then drag everything inside the folder. So it's not the folder you are dragging, but the files inside the folder. So because if you drag the folder and push to GitHub, it will not run. That's what I meant. Okay, I think that answers that question. All right. Are you serious now? I don't know if actually my internet is slow, but all right, let's continue. Yes, the files in the controllers will remain there. You see, I mean this file that contains this folder that contains everything, not these ones that are inside here. So this is not the one you drag. You open it and you drag everything inside here, including these ones like that. All right, so when you come to render and you open render, you want to click on new to create a new web service. Now, this static site is for your front end, but you don't want to create front end. Web service here is for your back end. So you want to create a new web service for your back end. So I'm going to also this one does it too. Add new, but I'll click new web service. So I want to deploy my project. It's going to ask me to pick the repo I want to deploy. Now you should have given it access maybe to some of your repos. Some people give access to maybe one or two repos. So I'll give access to all the repos. So I gave access to all my repos. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, it's fine. So I'm going to click on CareerEx auth. That is the one I want to deploy. I'll click on it to deploy. All right, so here I have to fill out some information, the name of the project, if there is anything I want to add, blah, 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 blah. So this is how I deploy. The name is CareerEx auth. I'm going to leave it as CareerEx auth. And here the language is Node. I'll leave it like that. The branch is main. I'll leave it like that. This is this. I'll leave it like that. Build command. This build command is very, very important. But I don't usually do npm install. It will work. I do yarn and yarn build like this. Yarn and yarn build, but some people can do npm install. It might work, it works, but for me I always do yarn and yarn build. I don't use npm here, but you can if you want to. And the node index.js, so this is where you make sure that your start script says node index.js. So if I come to my code and in my package.json it is not node index.js, I need to change it. So this is index.js. Sorry, my start script says node index.js. So since it's node index.js, I will leave this one like that as node index.js. I'll pick the free one and I'll click deploy web service. Now you can add all your environmental variables here. You can add them, but I don't like adding mine the first time. I deploy it first before I add the .env files, because all those .envs are not supposed to be here in your GitHub. Yes, your .env is not supposed to be in your code base. I am recording, but let's confirm. Yes, I'm recording it.
So .env is not supposed to be here. You add your .env things here. Now you can add them one by one, or you just click here and paste everything at once. So copy and paste everything here. I don't add mine the first time. I deploy first. So what did I do again? I clicked on new, click on web service. It brought me here. I left the name as alt. I left this one. I left it as node. The main branch, I left it like that. The region, I left it like that. Directory. Now, because it is not inside the folder, that is why I'm not doing anything here. But if you put inside the folder, you have to specify the name of that folder here. But you don't want to go that route. Just don't put it inside the folder. So the build command, I changed it from npm install to yarn and yarn build. That's what I use. Then node index.js. This is in my script, my start script. Node index.js. Finally, I pick the free version, but if you want to pay, these are the amount you can pay. For the starter, is $7 per month. Standard is $25 per month. Pro, $85, as the case may be, up to $450. You can use render for any company you want, except or unless the company decide to say we want to go with a particular hosting account, only server rather. But you can use render if you want. You can also use Heroku if you want, if they can afford it. That is, if they can afford it. So, as I said, you can add your .env one by one. You add the key, you add the value, you add the key, you add the value, or you just copy everything and paste all of them here. But I don't add mine initially. I'll just click on deploy. So if we are ready to click on deploy, please drop a thumbs up so that I can click on deploy, because we can't do this 2 times. We'll do it once. So if you are ready to click on deploy, please drop a thumbs up so that we click deploy. But if you have any question, ask your question now. Only 2 persons. Are we serious? All right. Okay, so I'll take that as yes to go ahead and deploy. I will click on deploy web service. So mine did not show. Something is wrong. So it will start deploying. It will start deploying, and it has already created a dummy URL for us here, but that's different. So you want to be sure that here it starts deploying. Command build not found, build failed. So that build this thing I added did not actually work. So that is why it failed. So I'm going to try it again, or maybe just add a build command. No. I'm not using TypeScript. Oh, so I use yarn and yarn build for TypeScript, not for normal JavaScript. Okay, I'm sorry. It's been a while I deployed normal JavaScript. So it failed. What I'll do is to delete it and start again. I use that. I'm not supposed to do yarn and yarn build. That's for TypeScript. So I'll click here to delete it, copy this thing, copy it, paste it in here, and delete the web service. So I'm going to click new again, create web service, and it's going to be this CareerEx auth. Click on it. I'll keep the name app default, keep main default, everything I will keep default, except for this one. I'll change it to free. I'll change it to free, and that is all. I'll go ahead and click deploy web service. So here that I changed to yarn and yarn build, I'm not doing that again because this is just normal JavaScript. I thought it was TypeScript. So I'm going to click deploy web service, and it will start deploying again. Okay, so let's wait and see. Awaiting build logs. So it's building. We're just going to wait to see it say it has been built. I think we did that. We did the checking, and so it's running the build with npm install, and it has installed the packages. So let's just wait for uploading the build. Is uploading the build. Let's just wait for build was successful. That's fine. Now it's deploying. It's deploying. We're waiting for the deployment, and now it has deployed. It's trying to run node index.js, so it failed. Now if you look at it here, it failed. The reason why it failed, it says the mongoose could not connect to our database, and I want to believe you know why. That's because our .env was not added. So you need to add the .env stuff to make sure it's now deployed again. So what's the question? How do we use GitHub Action for CI/CD? And this is a different thing, and it's also simple to set up. So you can do that. Is it possible for render deployment? Render does CI/CD by default. You don't need GitHub Actions. Render does CI/CD by default. So, but you can also implement GitHub Actions on render if you want. If that's what you want. The link has not pasted, was not copied from Git, right? My network glitch. What is the reason that you deploy first with that? For me, with TypeScript, so that I'll just know where the error is coming from in case I have any error. That's why I deploy first before adding the environmental file. You need a DevOps specialist for a situation where you want to be using big servers like AWS, DigitalOcean, all those servers that you don't want to be the one handling them. And also by the time you start getting traffic, 3,000 users, 20,000 users, you can't be the only one managing the server. Sometimes the server will go down. You want the DevOps to be there to check them. Your own is just building the backend. So you don't want to be concerned about what happens after you're done building. So this is what I will do. I will not delete it this time. I will not delete it. I know where the problem is. MongoDB could not connect. So I'm just going to go to environment. This is environment, and then I will add all those environmental variables. So this is where you add the environmental variables. So I'll click add and say from env. I'll go and copy everything in .env and paste it there. So .env, I don't know which one we need, but I think we need all of them. So I'll just copy everything with Control A, Control C, and then come here and paste it with Control V and add variables. So by the time you add these variables, you save it, rebuild it, and it will deploy again. So I will click save, rebuild, and deploy. So it's going to start deploying again. Where you get to see that will be in the logs. So you come back to the logs and you see it deploying again. Or maybe you just come back to the beginning. Come back to the beginning here. You see it deploying again. So it's deploying, and you can go in depth to see what is going on. Like just click in here and see that it's deploying. So build is successful. Now it is deploying. So it's running index.js, it's running node index.js, and the server has started running on port 5000, and MongoDB is connected. So that means our server is now live. So it says your service is live. That is it. That is how you deploy. You have deployed. So you copy this URL as your domain, like your main base URL. This URL is very important. This is the URL you send to the front end. You copy it and we can test it. So right now we're not going to be using localhost port 5000. Anywhere we see localhost port 5000, we replace it with the URL. So I'm going to remove localhost port 5000 and I'll paste that URL here. So if I send it now, it should fetch the server, it should fetch the details directly from the server. So it fetch the details directly from the server. I can log in, I'll remove the whole localhost port 5000, replace it with the URL, and send. It is fetching directly, it's logging me directly from what is on the server online. So you can also test it. you can copy. This is my main URL, so you always paste the URL there, and that is how you deploy, ladies and gentlemen. The way it was easy to deploy on Render is also the same way it's easy to deploy on Heroku. Yes, it's after you have deployed, you do documentation. I'm going to show you how we do documentation. You can test it on your browser if you have that welcome route. That route that will tell you welcome to CareerEx server. That's the route that you use to test it. I don't have it. I don't have it here, but if you have it, you can paste that route or the URL including that route on your browser. So it's going to tell you welcome to the server. So that is the route the front end will use to test it and know if it is connected. I don't have the route to test it. You can't test it with any of these routes. These routes are proper routes. You're supposed to test them with Postman or the application. So it is that welcome route that you will paste it. Because if I paste this thing on the browser now, this URL, if I paste this thing here and send, it will say cannot get. Yeah, cannot get, because I don't have an endpoint. But if I build that endpoint very quickly, let's just build that endpoint very quickly. So I will come here and say app.get, change it, and then say it's /. And here I'm going to have a function that accepts the request and the response. And add this, and change this. So I'm going to send a response with a status of 200. Status of 200 and a JSON message that will say welcome to CareerEx cohort backend. Whatever you want to type here, you're free. So I'll save it. Now when you save it, you have to deploy again. So this is where CI/CD comes in. I don't need to go to render and deploy again. I just need to push this code to GitHub. So I'll just come here, push again by git add dot, git commit updated, then git push main. So if I push this thing to main and come to render, you see that it started deploying again. It will start deploying again. So you see automatically that started deploying again. So you don't need to set up GitHub Actions here because it does it automatically. But you can also set up GitHub Actions if you want. There are so many reasons why we set up GitHub Actions, but if you don't have any reason to, then there is no need. There is no need, except you as a developer, you have a reason why you want to use GitHub Actions. Otherwise, there is no need for that. So it will deploy again, and we're going to test this welcome route on the browser to see that it is working. All right, it works. Yeah, it's going to work because you have not built the welcome route. As we deploy it now, can we use the URL in Vercel if we have a front end? Yes. You use the URL and attach the endpoint you want. Now the endpoint at this part, of course, you know what the endpoint at this part. So you can always use the URL and then attach the endpoint. It's live, so you can share it. And if the only thing you need to do now is to develop a documentation that contains all your endpoints and what they do and send it to the front end. That's the only business you have for the front end. So we're going to do that, the documentation, right away after now. Can you use Netlify to deploy your Node.js? No, you cannot. While you are logging in, there's a place where you click on new. Click on new first. If your repos are not showing, it's going to ask you to add your repos. So you click there to give it access to your repos. That's why you're not seeing it. You can put it in your README, but that's not professional practice. Professional practice is to develop a documentation. That's professional way of doing it, documentation, but not the README. So I want to check mine is still deploying. Let me restart, refresh, and see what's going on. So it has deployed. If I come here and refresh, it says welcome to CareerEx cohort bucket. So right now it's working. So this is the way you check your this thing. But there is one thing I missed. There is one thing I missed. It's very, very important. In that route where you say app.useRoute, which is this, before the route, we used to add something like this. Not like we used to. We normally add /API. So it means that all your routes or all your endpoints are supposed to start with API. This is what differentiates your URL from being a front-end URL and being a back-end URL. So if you see a URL that has API in it, then that is a back-end URL. So before you add your route, you need to add /API. Now, some persons go ahead to tell the version by adding version 1. For this one, that means if you have version 1, there's every possibility that later you're going to have version 2. Is your choice, like that. So, but it's very, very important to add API. You can tell the version if you want. If you don't want, you leave it like that. So, but API is compulsory. So that is how you define that this is a backend this thing. Right. So if I send this like this now, it will work, but you have to deploy again. You see, because once you make any changes, you have to push it back and then it will automatically redeploy. So let's push this back and talk about how to generate that documentation. So I'm going to git add, git commit, git push main. And to confirm that it is deploying, I want to see it on the browser saying it's redeploying. For now, it has not started deploying. Sometimes you need to refresh the browser and you see it. Sometimes you don't need to. You see it automatically. So, but let me refresh my browser. And it has started redeploying. So let's talk about generating documentation. Yeah, the third down way. But I've added there is showing private repository only, not mine. I don't understand. How is it showing private repositories that are not yours? I don't know. Yeah, you can if you want to. You can. I'm not saying you shouldn't use GitHub Actions, but I'm just saying that Render, Heroku, they all have it automatically. So, but if you want to, of course, you can. You can also, you can just go ahead. So, if you want to generate documentation, I use Postman to generate my documentation. So, and if you look at this place here, I don't have any collection yet. So you need to create a collection on Postman, like a folder where you are going to save all these endpoints. So you are testing the endpoints, they are not saved. How you know they are not saved? Because it's showing that pink dot there. It's showing dot. So it means it's not saved. The first step is to create a collection. This is empty. A collection is like a folder that is going to save all your tested routes. That way, when you test your route, it will save on that collection. Now you can take that collection and share it with any front-end developer. That becomes your documentation. You can go to settings, go to that, to delete it, go to that particular one, click on it, and then go to settings. There will be settings somewhere here. If I make mine bigger, if I make it bigger, you should see that settings. Yeah, this is settings. So you click on settings, scroll down to the last part, and you will see delete. That's how you can delete it. So if update in GitHub and refresh the deployment tab, it started deploying again. Exactly, yes, that's what Render does. Not all the servers does it, but I know that Render does it, Heroku does it also. It will start deploying again. That's what we call CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment. So it continues deploying. So the first thing I want to do is to create a collection. I'm going to click create a collection, and I'm going to rename it. I want it to be called CareerEx auth. No, it's not as if we're building only auth, but let's take auth. So the name has changed to CareerEx auth. Now inside here, you can group them by different folders if you want. You can say all the endpoints that are for authentication, I'll put them in a folder for authentication. It's not compulsory, but you can say some endpoints are for auth. You can create another folder and say these folders are for the user, or maybe for the wallet, whatever you want. So you can group all of them, and then you save this route. So I will come here. This is the first route. It's called sign up. This is for sign up. So automatically sign up is part of the auth. So I'm going to click on save. This is save, and I'll change the name. The name here should be called sign up route, or just sign up, whatever you want to describe it by. Because sign up, I'll open this and put it inside the auth and save. I'll save that one. So if you look at it here, it's now here. I can close it. I move to the second one. This is for login. By default, login is the auth. Login is the auth, and I'm going to click on save. Change the name to login, or maybe login user, any name you want. Since I'm currently on the auth, I'm going to save it as the auth. So it's now here as the auth. I'm going to close it again. But this one is to get all the users. Now you can group this as users or group it as admin route, however you want it. So I'm going to click save and change it to get all users. Get all users. And it's not going to be part of the auth. So I will come back to CareerEx and put it inside the users and save. So basically I have only 3 routes, but you're going to have more than 3 as the case may be. So, but for now, I just want to show you how to push this as a documentation for your route. So any questions so far? Any question? Any question? If there's no question, drop a thumbs up so that we continue. Are you sure okay, I'm not muted. If there's no question, drop a thumbs up so that we continue. All right. So here, where is it again? I think I have to make this bigger to be able to see that stuff. So if I click here, and I'm supposed to get documentation more. Let's take export. Export will do it, but collection 1, export collection, exported collection version 1. No, this is not. This will do it, but this is not here. Yeah, ask your question. If you want to use the mic, request for the mic, I'll give you the mic. I have to make it bigger so that I will see. I'm not seeing where documentation is. Environmental variables, global, but that's not it. Well, if I have not tested on Postman, can copy the route from my code. Okay, I don't know why you want to give the front end an endpoint you have not tested. You have to test it first, because front end people can finish you. They can make them sack you. You go and tell them that you don't know what you are doing, that they have been calling the API. The API is not working. So you have to test it and see that it has worked, and you save it. Once you save it, that's one thing with documentation. The moment you generate this documentation once and you share them the link, anything you save here get updated on their own part automatically. So as you do it the first time, every other route you save will be updated on their own automatically. So it's not, you don't have to worry about it, but you have to test it first. Can you refresh how you copy files from GitHub? We don't copy files from GitHub. I don't really understand what you mean. When is our last class? Today is actually our last class, but we still have Today is our last class, but we still have 2 weeks to work on our project. Apart from that, you can always ask me any question within the 2 weeks. Open each folder and click on one endpoint. Yeah, you open this one, you click on it to bring back where you stopped. This is where, okay, yeah, this is where I'm going to see documentation. Thank you very much for that. So this is where documentation is. So you're going to click here and get the documentation. I was thinking I'm supposed to open a batch file. Yeah. Thank you for that. Where can I get internship? There are so many places on LinkedIn. I think there are other places on Indeed and so other. Just Google it, you find it. There are so many of them. I don't judge between this one may not give me this. Anywhere you see, just apply. Please permission to message you directly is fine, but I may not reply right away. Get to understand last week's Sunday's class. It's fine. Go through it, you still understand it. Please take it easy on GitHub on how to create a new repo. Well, maybe we're going to come there. But GitHub creating a new repo is very simple. Open GitHub. You see where it says new or new repository. That's all you need. Click on it, give it a name, keep it public, and save. So my URL looks like this. Yeah, it's fine. You cannot change it. It's a free URL. You cannot change. But if you want to buy a domain, yeah, you can buy a domain for your backend URL and then change it. It works. So there's a place to attach a domain. Where is it again? Somewhere in the settings, there's a place to attach a domain. So if you buy a domain, you can change it. Not like you can remove this one. You're adding a second domain. So this one will still be there, and you're adding another domain. Okay, can you share on you want to create a repo on VS Code using CMD as well? Can you share your active email address? Well, I'll do that. So, but let's just generate this documentation first, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll come here, click on documentation. This is documentation. I'll click generate. It has so many blah 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 blah, which this is actually not the one I want, but nevertheless, this is not the one I wanted. I think I wanted, there's this fast way of creating it. Well, I think it's the eye. There's supposed to be an eye. You know, the more you look, the less you see. There's supposed to be an eye that I will click. Let me make this thing bigger so that I'll be seeing everything. Alright, so I want to believe you can also see my screen. So I'll click documentation down, and this click the body. This is just for one. This is documentation for just the one endpoint. I want to create for everything. So I'll click here, which is the main listing, and then I'll see documentation, watch, blah blah blah, comments. Yeah, so I'm seeing all of them now. And transition. Well, but normally I would just right click here and I'll find it. So why am I not finding it? Or maybe they've updated it. Have they? No, they have not. So let me click on watch, share. Yeah, all of these are going to share it, but not how I want to push it out. I want to push it out as a full documentation. Okay, and I see I didn't even know what I clicked, but this is what I'm looking for. What did I click? Because this is what I'm looking for. This is where you click and publish it. Let me come back, close this thing. So I have this. I click here and then I click here. No, that's not it. I'll click here. No, that's not it. Then where did I click? I clicked somewhere here. Click here again. No. Well, you can view complete documentation here, but this is a long process. I just wanted to do it the short way that is always easy to remember. No, I forgot to know what I clicked. I think I clicked on something which, you know what, the more you look, the less you see. So these two are missing. No, we have the two of them on the the resources topic. They are there. Who said you cannot get it? Well, that's one thing with the brain. If you say you cannot get it, you cannot get it. It's just how simple it is. So let's go back. I think I found it the last time and I forgot. So I'll click here. Double click on it. Okay. So since I have this, I'll click on share. It's not in share. I'll click the documentation is supposed to be here. This is variables. Was it? I got it the first time and I don't even know. There are so many ways to get it, but I want to get it more. Info, no. GitHub fork, no. Pull request, no. You know what? Let's just go with this view complete documentation. I think that's fine. So once you come here, you click the folder you created, and you click this one that is here. You're just going to see view this one. So once you see view complete documentation, you click on it. What you want to do is publish the documentation. You are publishing it means you are keeping it open for anybody you share the link with, and they are going to get it. That's what publish means. So I'm going to click on publish. It's going to take me to the browser and ask me the name I want to use, the color I want to use, a few other things I want to use, and the next thing will be push it out. So you can share that link. This is going to become your URL, the link you are going to share by the end of the day. This is the link. So, but you have to customize it, change the color. I like keeping mine black, but you can also keep it white. White screen rather, and it will be fine. So let's just wait for it to open. On the resources topic, so if you come to resources here, you have to scroll up to that date. There are videos here now. There are videos here. So the two of them, this is the class recording. I don't know which one it is. So maybe for the 18th, this is for the 18th, and the other one is for the, what date is this? 13th. So the two of them are here. So this is the final stage to deploying. I say deploying, generating documentation. You can keep everything here default. Now, if you want to change this domain name, you want to give it a good name, you need to buy a domain and change the custom domain. But if there is none, you keep everything here default. You don't have to change anything here. You absolutely have no reason. So I changed the logo to this one. You don't have to. You can change the theme to the dark theme, which you don't have to. Everything, just keep them default, every single thing, and click on publish. So when you click on publish, it will now give you this link to share with anybody. So I can copy this link and share it with you. So you can click here to view my documentation. Any endpoint I test and save it will appear on the documentation automatically. And I didn't even show you how it is going to look like. So the documentation is going to look like something like this. So let me paste the URL here and open it. How the documentation looks like. So you do this documentation thing once. Most of them are just once. And after that, you continue building your API. So this is dark theme because I chose dark theme. It is telling the user, which is the front-end developer, that this is CareerEx auth, this is auth. There's an endpoint called sign up and is a post request. So because I did not change the URL here before saving it, that's why you are seeing localhost here. But you should change the URL for this one to the main URL, or you just save the main URL here as a base URL for them. So what I mean is this: I'm going to come here. I think I use it for the login. So I'm going to copy this URL, copy it, and create a new request. This one, if I send it, it tells me welcome. So it should tell me welcome. Why are this? Okay, I did not push. I pushed that one, didn't I? Yeah, I pushed it. So sometimes the server can be slow because it is free. So if it stays for a while without being used, it could sleep for free, or this could actually be network. I don't know. So, but the goal is to save it. So if I click on save, I'll call it the base URL. And you need to attach /API to it. I'll call it base URL. No, it's not supposed to be inside there. I'll bring it outside. I'll bring it outside here. So it's not supposed to be inside here. I've saved it. This is still running. I don't know why. Could it be because I don't have API. It could be my network, because this is going to the server directly. So if I come to the server and check this thing here, let's see whether this is still deploying. Okay, it's not deploying. So why is it still slow? Cancel it and send it again. It's still slow. Was it not a GET request? It's a GET request. Alright, maybe I did not deploy it, no idea. So, but the goal is to save this base URL. If you come to the documentation and refresh, you will see that the base URL will appear here automatically. Yeah, so the base URL is here. You always save this base URL in case you make mistake of forgetting to change. Yeah, for these all users, you see the URL is complete. You save it, and you're also telling them to send authorization as a bearer token. So put the token why you want to make this GET request to this place. And that is it. So for the login, the URL is correct, is a login, and is a post request. This is the URL and the endpoint, and this is the payload that is expecting. Is expecting the email, password, and this. So for now, there is no response. You can save the response manually, but you don't have to do that. So this is what the documentation looks like, and they can always open the folders to see each one by one, as the case may be. So ladies and gentlemen, that's how you deploy. That's how you deploy. So I have where do you save it? Okay, we got that. The link expired. No, the link doesn't expire. You mean the link doesn't expire. Once you are given this URL, render doesn't take it away. It doesn't expire. I don't know, but it can be slow. The server can be slow sometimes because it's free. So now it is fast. It's fast. Sometimes the server can be very, very slow. Let me try the login again. I'll click on login. And it says cannot post request because I need to attach /API. I added that /API /. So send this. Did I? Yes, I did. Yeah, so now I'm logging in. So it doesn't expire. It's just that if I create another endpoint, I must generate another documentation. No. Once you create the endpoint, make sure to save it on this documentation. That is it. Once you save it, it will automatically update the documentation. You don't generate any documentation. So if we select view documentation, everything we save in the workspace becomes documented. Yes, it gets documented. We talked about deploying the base URL. Now you deploy it actually. It's about just adding the base URL here. That's it. So no need to create Swagger. If you are using Swagger, you can create the documentation on Swagger. If you are using Postman, you can create the documentation with Postman. You don't have to do both. You don't have to do both. I know a lot of companies that use Postman, Paystack, Flutterwave, GTBank, Wemabank. I know a lot of them that use Postman. I also know some that use Swagger. So it depends on what you are using to test your backend. That's what you use. You need the mic. Please go ahead with the mic. This is so ask your question. We've deployed and we've generated documentation. So ask your question. Where's my code base? Okay. You have the mic. Please go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question. The concerns are quiet.
Good day, sir.
Yeah, good day.
How is your day?
Fine. So what is the question?
Thank you very much for the good job.
It's okay.
For the first time, what I'm saying is, if I'm on VS Code, I have maybe completed my code, and I want to first initialize the code on GitHub. That is what I'm asking. For the first time, I'm initializing.
Are you talking about pushing it to GitHub?
Yes, for the first time.
All right. I think we're going to talk about pushing to GitHub. Should we even go ahead talking about GitHub? We learned a lot today. Pushing to GitHub is a little long, so it's not something we can start and pause. But if you want to start pushing to GitHub, let me clear this. The first thing is to start Git init to initialize Git in this place. So you do this one only once. You do Git init only once. The reason is because if you initialize it the first time, it has a Git history. So Git will be doing anything it wants to do with that history. If you initialize it again, it will remove the old histories and create a new history, and it will be difficult pushing to the previous repository. So that's why you do it only once. So what is Git init? Git init is simply saying you want to initialize Git on this repository. Your folder is not what you are pushing to GitHub. Rather, Git is going to create its own folder, copy all your files, and put in its own folder and push that folder to GitHub. So it's not your folder that is being pushed to GitHub, but Git is creating a copy of your folder and pushing that copy to GitHub. So that is why you say Git init first. After you do Git init, the next thing is to say git add dot. Git add dot is going to add everything in your folder to the Git folder. Like I said, it's not your folder that is being pushed to GitHub. Git is going to copy, it will get a copy of your folder and put it in its own folder. So when you say git add dot, you're telling Git to add everything in your folder. Take it and add it to your own folder. Take everything I have and add it to your own folder. You can do them one by one. Git add controllers, it will add the controllers. Git add models, it will add the models. Git add package.json. So you can do them one by one if you want, or you just say git add dot, it will add everything. That's the first one. The second one is to say git commit. Git commit -m with a commit message like this. So this part is saying take a snapshot of the way the whole codes are right now, because when you are building your project, there could be a point where you've encountered so many errors that you cannot resolve the errors. You want to go back to the last way where it was. Like you want to roll back to how it was the last time and it was working fine that time. So Git can take a snapshot of your entire codes the way it is right now. You take it and you snap it. You keep that commit. You can say, I want to go back to that commit and see what was there. Maybe from there, I will trace my steps back. Or maybe you are working with other developers and they ask you to add one API. And all of a sudden, your API caused the whole server to crash. They can roll back to the last commit when it was working fine. So that's why we always do git commit. The reason why we add the commit message is to know the last thing we did. So I built an API to get all users. You write it inside here. I built an API to get all users. So whoever is reading your Git history is going to see what you did at every point in time. So if they are tracing any error, they can say, this is where the error came in. This is what you did. So this thing you are doing or this thing you did is conflicting with one thing or another. So that is why we always add a Git message, an API to retrieve users. So every single time you want to, you always commit them. Every time, make sure you commit every time. If everything is working perfectly, you add it to Git, you commit it, and you push it. So it's, instead of waiting for to complete all the codes, every small step, save it and push. Every small step, commit it and push. So that way, you know, whenever you encounter an error, you know where the error is coming from. So that is the Git commit. The next one is, you know what? Let's go to GitHub. I'll come to GitHub and I'll go back and create a new repo. So I've explained 3 of them. I'll click on new. So I'm going to give this just a random name. I'll leave it public and click on create repository. So this is creating the repository. So the first thing you do is git init. Now git add dot is not here, but I'm just showing you how to add the readme file. So you can choose to add them one by one, or you just remove the readme and add dot to add everything. So that's the second thing. The third thing is to say git commit. So you commit with the commit message. You put a commit message inside here, what you did actually. If you didn't do anything, you just put first commit, and that's it. So this is about the branch. By default, your branch is going to be the master branch. But if you do this, you are changing it from the master branch to the main branch. So it's no longer master now, it's now a main branch. If you look at my repository, let me make this bigger. You see that my branch here is the main branch. So this is how you know which branch you are on. You can also type git branch to know the branch you are on. So now you see I'm on the main branch. So this is how you create the main branch. You type this line, main branch. The next thing is to copy this. You are telling Git where it should push that code to. So it should always push that code to this origin, this URL. Always push that code to this URL. And finally, you push main. Now, if you don't create this main branch, you don't need to do this main. You change it to master. So whatever branch name you create here, that should be the branch name you are pushing here. So these are just the steps to push for the first time. The second time, you will not do this one. The second time, you only do 3. The first one is git add dot. The second one is git commit, and finally git push. So the first time you do all of this step, the second time is only 3 steps. That's CI/CD part. You don't do git init again. You only do git add dot, git commit, and then git push. That is all. So I want to believe that that's actually self-explanatory. But there's every possibility that when you install Git for the first time, Git will ask you, who are you? If it says JWT expired, you're supposed to know that the number of times you set for it has expired. If you say access denied means the token was not added, and you are requesting that the user adds a token, so you are denying the user access. So increase the expiry date for your token. You're not going to see this token again. All right, guys. So I think there is a part where if you are using Git for the first time, you are using Git for the first time, you have to set it up, which is something like this. So I'm going to copy these 3 lines. Now you are not going to be adding the dollar. You don't need to add the dollar. So you need to tell Git what your name is and what your email is. The email should match the email you use for your GitHub. So you are changing this name, user.name, you change the name, user.email, you change the email. So for example, I can actually ask Git what is my name. I think it is a git config user.name to ask it what my name is. It says my name is David Samson. So you need to tell Git who you are for the first time before you are able to push. You may experience that, but if you don't experience it, it's fine. So you set your name, change this name to your name. You run them one after the other. You copy this one, you change this John Doe to your name and hit enter. You copy the second one, you change this John Doe email to your email and you hit enter. So that's all you need to do. And if you run this, Git is going to tell you who you are. And if it tells you who you are, then you can always come back and deploy using these steps one by one. So, but you may not see these steps after you push. So if you don't know how to, what I normally do most times is I will create an empty repository, but keep it private for only me to see. In case I want to copy these things, I'll just go there, copy it and come back, go there, copy it and come back without having to type it. But right now I know them, I can type them, so I don't have to copy. But if you don't know them, just create an empty repository, keep it private. You can always go there and copy them one by one. All right, guys, any other question? Please ask your question. So how do we push existing project that has been updated before? Now, I want to believe that that project, you pushed it, it's not drag and drop. If you did drag and drop, you cannot push again. You pushed it following this route. What I mean is, the first thing was git init. Second thing was git add dot, not the readme, but add dot. Next thing is git commit. You created the branch, you run this, and you did this. So if you did all of this step, the second step, the way to push it again the second time is to run git add dot, not the readme, git add dot, the first one, then git commit with a commit message, and finally git push. So the first time you do all of this step, the second time you do only 3 steps. So you do only these steps once. All these steps you do them once. After that, every single time you only do 3 steps. How does the front end fetch API? It's not your job now. Yours is to build the API, send them documentation. There are so many ways to fetch APIs, so it's not your job. You don't need to, but except you want me to explain front end here, which I don't think is okay, but it's fine. There's React query, there is Axios, there are use hooks. There are so many ways they can fetch APIs. They just need to add the URL and add the endpoint, and it will fetch it directly. So there is no big deal about it. Okay, so guys, ask your question. Somebody's asking questions. Sir, is it all about deployment? Please do we need DevOps? Okay, I think I've answered that. Any other question? Please, the course rep, where they're not saying anything. Please say something. Where is Oluwatosin and Sarah? Yes, the mic. You have the mic. Where is Sarah? You can unmute. Just say hi. Where is Oluwatosin? Maybe he's not in the class.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Well done. Well done. Where is Oluwatosin? He's not here. It's fine. All right, guys. So, any other question before we go? But Sarah, I hope you're following. I have a task.
Yes,
I just
sir.
want more clarification. All right. On refresh token, do I verify the refresh token to a private function? Do I verify the refresh token in a private function from the access token? And when the access token expires, can I copy the refresh token? Yeah, you can mute now. Can I copy the refresh token like I did? Now, the refresh token, you are going to build an endpoint. That endpoint is just to accept the refresh token. You build that endpoint to accept the refresh token, decode the token, that is verify the token, find who the token belongs to, and generate a new access token and send. That is all. So you build an endpoint that accepts the refresh token, decode the token, find who the user is, generate a new access token, and send. So anytime the front end wants to generate a new access token, they will call that refresh token API. That is it. If you want to help them, you can do it automatic. Pick the refresh token from the cookies automatically, decode the token, find who the user is, generate a new token, and send to them. That is all you're doing. When building a backend project for a client, are we to set the repository private? Please, if they are paying you for it, keep it private. Where do you add that API, and do we need to have it as part of our render deployment? Render deployment, you don't need to add it as part of your render. Of course, that's to be part of this. So I added it here where we say app.use the route. Before the route, you can attach APIs here. That's where you add it. And when you are calling it, make sure your route, of course, if your API is working, if your route is working, the APIs are going to be here. So if you save it, the front end is going to see that there's an API attached to all the endpoints like that. So you don't need to do too much. So I'm lost with this documentation for the front end. It's very simple. Come to Postman. Make sure you create if you don't know how to create it, click on this here to create a new collection. This plus sign will create a new collection for you. Save it. Any API endpoint you test, save it. This is how to click save. You save it and you're going to save it to this folder. If you click on this folder and click on view complete documentation, once you click on view documentation, click on publish. If you click view documentation here, it will ask you to publish. So publishing means you want to generate a documentation that is visible to the front end, and you click on publish. Now mine has been published, that's why it's showing green. So yours will not be showing green. So you click published and that's it. Click publish, it will take you to the browser. If you have a domain name, you add it. If you don't have a domain name, keep everything default and click proceed. That is all. Copy the URL and share. So there's no much about documentation. Click here, view documentation, publish, proceed. That's all. But you get the hang of it with time. So lovely evening. Please, can you give us a brief on what to expect of a successful submitting our project? That is stages to do. I don't know what you mean by now. Your project, the project remains milestone 3. I'm going to add milestone 3 after this class. We build milestone 3. I'm not looking at the entire project. I'm only looking at the milestones for now. When I'm done recording the milestones, I will then take my time to review all your project. If your project is too good to be true, we're going to call you to come and do presentation, or everybody is going to do presentation. I don't know how it's going to be structured, or maybe nobody will do presentation. It depends. Some projects you might be called to come and present it, talk about it. Some project, I think that was the last time some people went to Lagos to present their project. Yeah, some people went to Lagos. I think so. Was it Lagos or in Port Harcourt? So they can call on you to come and present your project, or maybe they will not call on you. Now, if they don't call on you, doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing. No, it's just maybe we are not doing it at this time. So, but that is when I'm going to look at the project. When I'm done with the milestone, and your project, when we are done with the milestone, your project is expected to be standard. .env, use MVC. So I need to see controllers, I need to see models, I need to see routes. This is after you are done with the milestone. So I need to see them structured very well. I also need to see your, what is it called? Base URL. That means you have deployed it. If possible, I want to see the link of your documentation, if possible, but that's not compulsory. But it's compulsory to see the base URL that it has been deployed to render. Render is free, you have to deploy. So that's what I'm going to be looking at after the milestone. Yeah, it's fine. You can always catch up if you watch the video. Is the front end that we connect to the back end? Is it the front end that we connect to the back end? Yours is just to generate your documentation and send to the front end. They are not connecting anything. I want to know if the last assignment requires. No, the last assignment does not. It is after you are done with the milestones, then you have to make sure it follows MVC standard. After I published, I made a request and saved it, but it didn't show up in the response that was returned as part of the documentation. Refresh your documentation, you will see it. If you get it saved, if it is saved here, saved means you're not going to be seeing that dot line. You know, if I close this, and do something here, for example, on this one, come to the body. Now you see I'm not seeing any dot here. There's no dot. But if I just add space here, now there is a dot. So this is not saved. If it is not saved, it will not appear on the documentation. But if you save it, it will always appear on the documentation. So my second milestone, I try to use MVC and restructure the project. Now that's fine. That's fine. If you use, I'm just saying that MVC is not compulsory now. So I'm not going to be judging your project now based on MVC. It is after the milestones, I'll judge based on MVC. All right. Any other question before we call it a day? Any other question? It will not show the response. Okay, I thought you were talking about the request. It will not show the response. It will not show the response. The response is another step, like where we steps that if you want to take that step. But I don't think you have to do that. So I want to use the mic. Please go ahead, request for the mic, and I will give you the mic. Where is he? Tochuku. Request for the mic, and I'll give you the mic. Any other question before we call it a day? And I want to believe you're actually learning. So even if you don't get a job at the moment, it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't mean you also don't know what you're doing. But if you get a job, it's also great. It's nice. Take your time. Some persons get cold after a while, but I just hope it will not be you. So if you don't get a job immediately, it's fine. Take your time. Keep trying it. Keep testing out. If you want to take time, if you have a lot of time in your hands, build new projects, build new stuff. The thing about tech is this: some people may get jobs immediately with one project and then maybe get paid 200, 150, as the case may be. Another person whom has not gotten job since for a while, but has built a couple of projects, maybe one or two, three, projects. And the moment they are landing the job, they are landing on 500, 600, 700, 800, as the case may be. Some may even be landing a foreign gig as their first job. It happens with tech. That is if you don't give up. So, but don't be moved. Even if you don't land the job immediately, don't be moved. Thought you could go ahead. No, after you generate with Postman, you don't need to generate any other one. Postman is fine. That's all you need. When will I build a new app from scratch? I just hope we have the time. But if you have time next week, I might try it. That is if you don't have anything to learn. Next week is supposed to be all about your project. You have questions, you call us up, and we're going to set up a class and answer your project. Now, classes may not hold. It's possible, but because we're not supposed to have classes next week. But if you have something you want to talk about next week, you drop a message for me, we fix a class, and we hold it. If, for example, we have excuses not to hold the class, we can always reschedule the class. But I just hope there is time. If there is time, we're not doing anything, I may attempt to build a new project. But you don't need me to build a new project. This is all you need. So you could go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I want to appreciate you for the time and everything, the knowledge you've passed on across to us. I'm having some challenges. Right now, I cannot even install Mongoose. I can't install Express. I can't install .env. My system starts installation, but then it just keeps hanging. So I try to resolve the issue because my system's time and the current time are not in sync. So I used npm I mongoose.env and I used the flag of verbose. I could see some success messages of the installation, the package that had been installed. But at the end of almost about 30 minutes, everything crashed. So I don't know if there's a particular problem causing this. I was thinking it is network, or I'm suspecting network, but then, and it has really affected me. I have not moved ahead with my project, my milestone 1, my milestone 2. So I don't know if there is any thought you can share with regards to this.
This your case now is a special case. Everybody will need to look into it. Now, I don't know why it's happening because I have not seen anybody, I've not heard about it before. Since I've been teaching, I haven't heard any student complain about it. It could be related to this. Now, I have a system that I cannot do npm install in it. So what I do is I install yarn. Now, you see me use yarn sometimes. So I have a system that npm doesn't work in it, so I use yarn. So you can install yarn and use yarn. Go to Google, search for yarn, install yarn, and you do yarn add mongoose, yarn add decrypt, yarn add anything you want. And if you want to remove them, you say yarn remove. That is for uninstall. Yarn remove. While for install, you say yarn add. Maybe that will solve it, but I don't think I've experienced that issue.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, then second question is this. Since I didn't do my milestone 1 and now in milestone 3, if I incorporate all the activities or the assignments of milestone 1, milestone 2 into my milestone 3 and submit, am I still on the safer side?
No, I'm going to grade only milestone 3, but I'm going to grade the entire project after I'm grading the milestone 3. So if you submit everything for milestone 3, I'm grade milestone 3 because milestone 3 is there and it's actually written. Now the thing is this: in as much as I try to help out, I also have supervisors, they join the call once in a while to see that something is happening. Now, if we are doing anything wrong, you'll be surprised to see that somebody is going to force us address the situation immediately. So I have people who are looking at what I'm teaching you, looking at what I'm grading, to make sure that everything is in sync. So I cannot just like, can I grade you more than 10 in one assignment? I can't. So the maximum you can get is 10. So if I look at the entire project, milestone 1, milestone 2, milestone 3, and they are perfect, I can't grade you 30 at once. I'm going to grade 10. So I'm only going to grade you 10 of it, not 30. So, but it's fine. Finish it first, submit it first. I'm going to grade milestone 3, and I'm still going to grade the entire project. I've told you before, the project is enough. Only the project is enough to give you CareerEx certification or land you in any project you want. But make sure you build the project very well, deploy it, generate documentations, and it's enough for anything like that. All right,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I think that's
So
it. So you
uploading
can.
yesterday's class, please do well to upload today's own if possible today, please.
I'll try.
God
I'll
bless.
try. All right. So any other question before we call it a day? You guys no question? Yes. Do you want to use the mic, or Peter? Do you want to use the mic? I think we're actually done. So you're free to use the mic. Let's go with Peter. No, first. Okay, you could go ahead. You first, then Peter, then we proceed. So go ahead, unmute yourself. Yeah, good evening.
So I want to ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
The project you gave us, I was doing a research. So I came across a particular project that looks like us. And I was seeing similar things towards the project. So I was thinking of changing some of my codes to have exactly what I'm seeing there. Because since you said that we can do researches on, because I got it on YouTube, we can do researches and try to update or do anything that will make the the project work.
No,
So
no,
I'm
no,
trying
no,
to ask,
no.
is it
Do
proper
my
that
own first.
I should be
Do my
your
own first. Yeah, do my own first. The way it should be. That you can always advance project. You can always upgrade project, but in order to be the safer side, I'm grading it based on what questions I put out. So this is what I put out. If you add extra, I may not give you an extra mark for that, but you're free to add. But make sure that the ones I asked for are in the codes. The ones
okay?
I'm asking for, they are in the codes. Then you can add to it if you want.
So,
You
so I'm not
understand?
adding extra. I'm not adding
Okay.
extra. The only thing is that the way there is like just like example the authentication. There's a way he did this
Okay.
use agent authentication. So it was more understandable by me and the explanation there.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it
That's
does it
fine. You can
something
always
it
do
was not
that.
easy.
You can always do that.
Okay. That is
Yeah,
just
you
my
can
question.
always do that. All right.
Thank you very
So
much.
you can mute now. Let's go with Peter. Peter, go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question. Peter, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So please, I noticed when you used in your in your main index.js file, when you use your slash API, when we deployed, it wasn't showing. That slash API was not part of the URL that we did that was given to us. So how do we? And when we're
No,
using
no,
it
no.
on Postman, we had to put the slash API. But when we deployed and it gave us a URL, it was not the same.
Okay. Now the URL they will give you will not carry this. This API here is part of your endpoint. Now the thing is this: you are supposed to add this endpoint. This thing here, you're supposed to put here /API. Like you're supposed to add /API to all of them here after this one. So the API is part of the endpoint, not the URL. But because we already advanced, there is no need adding that API in all of these routes. Instead, you can come here and add it once. So all of the routes are going to use /API. So the API is part of your endpoint and not your URL. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. So thank you. God bless you too. So for slow learner like myself that is still catching up, all you need to do is watch the video. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to watch the video. Now, even if you don't learn anything now and we are completing or we're rounding up, you can still take a month or two yourself to go through the videos again. There is no rush in tech, although some persons will say the earlier you enter into tech, the better for you. I agree, but there's no need to rush. Take time. Will you have a chance to answer questions on platform you do to respond? So what will happen is, for now, I can always answer your question, but we're on the same group. We will always be in the same group. So if you drop a comment here, which if I don't see it, then drop it for me directly in my DM. Now, I may not respond immediately, but I will always respond with time. Like that. So it says the journey has been built from the version backend forums to boost us. For now, if there are communities, in every city there are communities like GDG, Friends of Figma, all these tech communities. Join them. It is not for people who are best brains. No, you can be there and become one of the just one of their leaders. If there is none in your area, create it. Google likes it, and some international organization likes it. They always give us sponsorship to those ones, including some organizations in Nigeria. They like it too. So join tech communities anywhere you see them. Anytime you see that they are trying to organize a tech event, go there, introduce yourself, meet other persons. It will help you boost your morale. It will also connect you to job opportunities too, because most times a lot of us work in organizations that we don't want to bring an absolute stranger. We want to bring in somebody we have seen. So they see you at events, they can actually hook you up with a job. All right, thank you, Samuel. Thank you. Okay, I think that's the end for today's class. So I'll see you guys again next week, but it's under probability because next week is not compulsory. But if there's going to be a class next week, the course reps will inform you. And my mail is davidsamson@gmail.com. I'm going to drop that to the course rep too. All right, guys. Bye. See you next week.